get cut up that time?
Yeah, a little bit, not really.
Grab my shirt. All right, Josh, what we did is we took a ride. You showed us 5 different locations. One location we found some pants that was wrapped up in a belt, just like you said. Pretty much right where you told us they were. We got one location to look for that the 2 cell phones are in a pond.
There's a black iPhone 7 and there's a white HTC phone. Okay. One's through T-Mobile and one's through AT&T.
Okay, we got that pond. We know where that is. Then we got 2 places in the river to look for possible guns.
Mm-hmm.
The first place is you said they're both .40 caliber, and the first place is
just coming from the construction area, which I was walking around along the edge of the river, and they're right out in the middle.
And you said that was the gun that was used in this deal with Nikki.
Pretty sure.
And are they both Glocks? Okay, and the other gun, we go till Bel Air. We go where that road dead ends into Bel Air Drive South.
183.
Yeah, 183 Service Road to Bel Air Drive South.
Underneath it.
Right underneath that
on
bridge.
The west side, right out in the middle.
By those pillars out in the middle. We're going to look for those 2 guns there. Then we went to a 5th place, which was down at the park where we were looking in the creek for some stuff, and we didn't find that stuff, and there was a lot of briars. The night you were there, it was dark.
Mm-hmm.
It was, plus, not to mention, it rained this morning. It came pretty good rain through there. It might have washed stuff away or whatever.
Coming out of that creek, just so you know, coming out of that creek where we were at, if you come out of that creek and go along that fence line on the backside of them houses, that creek comes back around, and right where that fence line, that creek comes back together, where we almost made it to. That's where the keys are, and my jacket is.
Okay. All right, I know about what you're talking about. Maybe I'll put some jeans on and try to go back over there. But here's the point in all that. What you just did was help us make you credible, okay? Because those are little things, all right? Whether we find those things or not, but the truth is you were honest about those things, and that helps me show you as a truthful person. Because they are going to want, let me tell you a little example. We drew that map out, like how we walked on that. Well, we all know now that's bull crap, okay? But you went above and beyond to drive us and show us where he was. You wouldn't believe some of the tunnels and the sewer pipes that he went through to get underneath freeways, underneath roads. He came up, and it was right like he said. And I don't know how he did it because it was pitch dark. But everything he said was right on when we were out there driving around. And I just want to put that on the record here, saying that you were truthful and that you helped us as best you can with that kind of stuff.
My pants are in my trailer. The white wife beater that I had on is in my washer.
And that stuff's in the Benbrook address.
At my house.
So, and the trailer is at your house. And you said you would let us search your trailer and search that house to get that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing that I would like to do is there's some guns and stuff at your mom's house.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to go out there and see what all is out there.
Yeah. Well, you're going to take me home?
Either that or we'll get your mom, whatever is easiest for you.
Yeah.
Okay? Because you're fixed. I mean, you're always been free to leave, but when we get done here, we'll get you home how you want to. Okay? So what I'm talking a lot because what I'm trying to show is the little things are coming together and you being a truthful person. So what does that mean? That means if I can't trust you, I got to trust you on the little things to trust you on the big things. Okay, so now I want to go detail by detail over the shooting aspect of this, okay? First of all, is there, and I don't mean little details, but is there any big portion of your story, like did you not go to Cabela's? Did you not go to Silver Fox?
All
that's true.
And then when I started crying earlier and telling you, everything that I said is the exact truth.
Okay, so y'all come home from Silver Fox, you have your sex, you're smoking, she's back in her bedroom, and then you go to the bedroom and tell me where to start from there. And let's go real slow.
I went to leave. All of a sudden she said something about the power, something about the lights flickering, something like that. Lights ain't working. We walked to the garage. We flipped the breakers.
Okay, did you flip the little breakers or the main breaker?
All of them.
Okay.
Every one.
All right.
To try to figure out where it was flickering. We went back inside. She was getting loud and this and that, and I said, screw it, I'll leave. She turned right there by the garage, said something about, your time and this and that with your family. And I just said, Nikki, please, just tell me the truth. Like, what's going to happen? Like, if it's going to happen to me. I'm here right now.
Right.
And then the argument led from there to getting back to her bedroom, her saying this and that, and then the rest is exactly how it went.
Okay, so let's start right there. I want to go over that detail by detail. Tell me where the gun comes from.
The gun, I had the gun.
It was your gun?
Yeah.
Okay, so at what point does the gun come out?
When we made it back to her room.
Okay, why does the gun come out?
When she started pushing me and throwing stuff at me, and then she ran to the closet, and then she had her hands in her pockets. And all of a sudden, I was like, look, like, I don't, enough is enough. Like, stop. Like,
okay.
I'm leaving. I'll get out of here. But let this be the last time. We don't ever have to see each other again.
Right.
And then the threat started with the family, and the threat started with this and that, and it just got...
And so you had that gun with you. You'd had it all day. That's the one that you talked about being maybe that you put in your glove box, in the glove box when she picked you up, the Glock 40.
Yeah. Well, the 45 was in the glove box.
Okay. Where is that one? We don't know where that one is.
That's one I don't know where it's at.
Okay.
I thought it was in my bag.
Where did you have the Glock 40? Like, were you carrying it all day?
No, it was just in her car.
Okay. You just kept that one in her car,
yeah,
so yeah.
Both of those were in her car. There was 3 total.
2 40s.
2 40s and 145.
145. And so y'all are inside, and you pull the gun out because she's making threats.
Mm-hmm.
And tell me what she does that makes you take action. Besides the threats, I want to see, I want you to act like this is the edge of the bed. That wall is the edge of the bed, okay?
Uh-huh.
This is her counter, okay?
Walking into the room?
Chest of drawers, yeah. You're walking in this way. This is the chest of drawers. That's the back wall. And you're standing, over here at the corner of the bed, and show me her actions.
I'd come in the room, she'd ran to the closet, she'd come back out, she had her hands in her pockets. That's when all of a sudden she was like, well, I'll just take care of you myself, and this and that. And I said, Nikki, stop, chill out, relax. And I was like, where you're at. I was like, and she knew I had a pistol.
Okay.
She knew it. I told her, I said, Nikki, please, get your hands out of your pockets and stop threatening my life. And you're threatening my son now, you're threatening my family, and you're threatening me. Stop. I want to call this quits. Just tell me the truth about what's happened, why it's happened, and what I need to do to fix it, because I don't want any problems. I'm sick and tired of living life the way I have to live it on defense.
Okay.
It was screaming and hollering. I turned to leave. All of a sudden, I heard a click. That's when I turned back around. I grabbed my pistol, and I said, Nikki, you better stop. Get your hands out of your pockets. And she come at me, and she held her one hand in her pocket, and she went to hit me, and I backed up, and then all of a sudden I started walking towards the door, and all of a sudden she ran over by her dresser, which would have been my dresser, on this side.
This is the dresser.
Over here, and she turned and she grabbed something, and I heard something else. It hit the side of the bed. I don't know what it was, and that's when I pointed the gun. I said, Nikki, stop. And then so when she turned, she said, I'll fucking kill you and all your family and this and that. And I said, that's enough. And then she started to come at me, and so I shot her in the shoulder.
Okay. And so she's standing up between the dresser, between the bed, coming at you, and you shot her in the shoulder.
She fell backwards, and all of a sudden she turned and she said, you're going to die. And she went pull her hand up, and then that's when I shot again.
Okay. And is she still standing when you shot the second time?
Yes, she was right.
Okay. Okay, so she's still standing. Where does she...
She was like leaned against the bed.
Okay. Where does she land whenever you shoot her the second time?
She's just right there.
Like,
it's like she's right there. It's like she's
kind of like on the bed, on the floor, on the bed and the floor.
No, she laid on the bed.
Her whole body. Like
she just felt like if this is the bed. Like here's the bed, here's the dresser.
Yeah.
She just like she was right here, and she turned, she went like that, and I shot again, and she was like just fell. She just like right here. She like.
So her
on the bed.
legs were draped off the bed.
Yes.
Okay. So the first time she's standing up between you and the bed, and you shoot her one time, she stumbles back, and then she's making motion like she's going to come at you again, and you shoot her the second time, and she falls with her...
She was like she was kind of leaned against the bed, and she turned, she said that's when she told me pretty much she was going to kill me, and I shot again, and she just like went straight down, and she was laying there.
Okay. Let me ask you, did you ever see anything in her hands?
I know she had something in her hands.
Okay. Did you ever...
She hit me with it. I don't know what it was.
Okay.
She threw when it all first started, and when I first went back there, and I was just begging her, please just stop. I don't know what's the deal. If I have to just leave, I'll leave. She come out of her closet. That's when she turned, and she threw a glass at me. And it hit me in the shoulder, and then like the water or drink or whatever it was went all over the curtains and everything back there. And that's when it started to get physical, and I started to leave, and then she started screaming, Holly, that it was going to be the end of me and my son and my family and everybody. And that's when I turned around and I said, I'm sick of you threatening me and my family.
I mean, she's making verbal threats to you and then physically coming at you. After you shot her the second time, what did you do? I want you to think about every little detail.
I turned and I walked right back through the hallway, through the kitchen, and I went and made sure that the garage door was shut, and then I left.
Okay. Did you do anything in the audio-visual closet? Okay. Did you take anything with you from her bedroom? Did you touch her body after she was shot?
No, because at that point, that's when I thought, I got to get home, and then I got to check and make sure my family's okay.
Okay. When you got home, did you call anybody?
I got home, I tried to get on, I had an iPad there, it didn't have the SIM card in it, so I couldn't contact anybody. I was like, just in tears almost the whole way home. I cried when I got there. I finally got there, I laid down, I put the heater on, which was the oven, because the thermostat's disconnected. Turned the oven on, turned the heat on, tried to warm up a little bit, and laid down, and I ended up just crying myself to sleep. I woke up about 6, 7 o'clock, right as sunlight was coming out. I went outside, checked in my trailer, started getting my hunting stuff together to just go to the deer lease with my mom. My mom knew nothing of the situation. No one knew nothing of the situation. My neighbor came outside. I waved to my neighbor. He went right back inside. I didn't want to bug him at 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning to borrow his phone. I gave it an hour or two, which ended up being around 9:30, I'm guessing, or close to 10. I went over there, knocked on his door. I was like, hey, Durwood, do you mind if I go ahead and borrow your phone and call my mom? And then I called my mom. She didn't answer. I gave it, 30, 45 minutes. His brother showed up with his wife, delivered something. He come back outside. I hollered at him. I said, hey, bud, can you check and see if my mom's called? He, hollered back. He's like, no, she hadn't called. And then all of a sudden, Durwood come back out. So I walked over and said, hey, man, you mind if I use your phone one more time? I'm so sorry to ask. I finally got a hold of my mom. I was like, hey, I was standing right there. Durwood, my neighbor, was standing right there. I was like, hey, if you can you come pick me up? Sorry I didn't get a hold of you at the end of last night. And she was like, yeah, is everything okay? And I was like, yeah, it's okay. I just, didn't know if you want to go ahead and come pick me up, and maybe we'll go, if everything's okay with Noah, my nephew, maybe we'll go to deer lease, go hunting, but I'm just ready for you to come get me. And then if we can get the trucks towed and try to get them fixed.
All right, so I got all that the next day.
That was it. I mean, that's everything.
I got you. I want you to sit in my chair, and I'm going to tell the story like you did, and I want you to tell me if I get something wrong or whatever. So this chair, represents the bed. This will be the headboard of the bed, okay? This chair represents the edge of the bed. Just imagine that it comes on out and goes on over there. This table represents the cabinet that has like 3 or 4 shelves. It continues farther.
Over to the door.
Yeah, it's pretty big,
okay,
right?
Yeah.
And so, and this space is a little bit wider than this in the room. But y'all had done your deal in the living room. You went out to smoke. She went back to her bedroom. She started hollering at you. You ended up going to the door of the bedroom, and that's when she started making threats against your family.
It was towards the garage.
Okay, and you followed.
So we ended up talking and arguing into the bedroom.
Okay, and she, talking about your family, making threats. Y'all just had sex. Everybody's.
Yeah, and she was sitting there telling me.
Did she have her robe on at that time, or was she still naked?
No, she had I guess it was her robe, yeah.
Well, that's what you said the first time I talked to you. You said she had a gray
gown or
robe.
Robe, something, yeah.
Okay. So did she have that on when
yes.
already? When
yes.
she's making
yes.
these threats
yes.
and everything?
Yes.
And then, so do y'all walk into her bedroom together, or is she ahead of you?
She was ahead of me.
Okay, how far ahead of you? I mean, like, can you still have her? You can still see her? Or did she go out of your view?
She turned the corner and ended up back in there when I didn't see her until she turned back around.
Okay. And so then she comes out of her master closet, out of the closet from this side of the room, around the bed, and she's over here, and y'all are yelling, and she's threatening your family, and she's got her hands in her pockets, and she's saying, you're going to die, they're going to die, she'll do it all, and you're like, look, just take me. I'm done with this shit.
Yeah.
I just want it to be over. I'm here.
Tell me the truth.
Leave everybody else out of this. Tell me the truth, and let's be done.
Yeah.
If it's going to happen, it's going to happen. And at some point, you pull a gun out of your pocket, and you're like, just tell me why you did that.
Because of her continuing to threaten me and her hand in her pocket.
So which hand was in her pocket?
Both hands were in her pockets for the longest time.
Okay.
And then she turned around, and she did something at her dresser, and all of a sudden she turned and she threw a drink at me, and then she turned back around, and that's when I was like, I didn't know how serious it was about to get.
Okay, so she's at the dresser here.
And that's on the other side. That's her side.
Okay, and she throws a drink from the other side of the bed. Then she comes around here.
I was sitting out in front of the bed.
Okay, which cabinet or which dresser is she reaching into to get that you think she might be getting something?
She went to get something out of that one, and it was like, she's got these little cases.
On the far side?
On the far side.
Okay.
And that's after she come out of the bathroom area, or right there, there's a little niche in the wall that has shelves.
Okay, this is a really important question. When she is doing all that over there, and she comes around the bed before she gets back over here, do you see anything in her hands?
I know she had something in her hands, yes.
Did you see it, or she just had her hands in her pockets?
I seen it. There was something in her hands.
Okay, what was it?
I don't know.
What did you think it was?
I thought it might have been a pistol.
You thought it was a pistol?
I thought it was.
Okay. So you think she might have a pistol. You pull your pistol out, and you're like, hey, this don't have to be like this. And she gets aggressive. She's already thrown a drink at you. She turns, and you hear something. You pull up your gun, and you're telling her, and she's keeping on yelling at you, and you actually shoot her the first time in the shoulder or the arm, and she stumbles back. Is there conversation after that?
She just started screaming.
Okay, she started screaming. What did she do next?
She was like, well, shot her that time, she like kind of fell against the bed.
Okay, so she's kind of on the bed, and then you shoot her a second time.
Yeah, she's on the bed, sitting there, saying...
Was she like sitting on the side with her legs draped? Where was she?
She was just like I was saying. She like...
Go ahead and show me.
She was like leaned against the bed like this.
Okay, now where are her feet?
Off the bed.
Off the bed. Because if this bed extended out, your feet would be over here.
Over here.
Okay, so she's been shot in the shoulder,
right here.
And she's leaning against that way. And how close are you? How close or how far do you think you are?
I was probably past...
A little bit more than over here?
Yeah.
Okay. And what did she do that makes you show me exactly from that position what she did that made you shoot her the second time?
She turned and she's lifted her hands up like this.
Okay.
And that's when I thought that she was about to shoot me.
Okay.
And so I just shot, and then she didn't move. And so then that's when I...
Okay, and I'm going to ask you again. I asked this once, but I want you to think about this. Did you ever touch her body after she was shot? No, sir. So when she is laying, when she falls over, imagine she falls over
she was
the second time, and her feet are hanging off the bed, and she's up there.
Yeah.
Her head and her body are on the bed.
Like this, and her feet, her legs were off. Like this part of her body was on and her feet were off.
Okay, so her butt is on the bed, so from her butt to
from here up was
to her
on
head,
the bed.
And that part's flat, laying across the bed?
On the bed.
Okay,
like
all the way down, like not against the headboard, all the way down. And her feet are towards the floor.
Yeah.
And did you pick anything at all? Did you pick anything up from that room and take it with you?
The shell.
You picked up a shell casing?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What did you do with that?
Threw it in the trees. By the pond where the phones are.
Where the cell phones are? Okay. Did you
That's the only thing I touched.
Nothing else?
Nothing else.
You didn't touch her body?
I didn't touch her at all.
Did you move her body at all?
I didn't touch her at all.
Okay. So the way I found her was exactly the way you left her.
I don't know how you found her.
Okay, that's fair. That's a little confusing. But the way you left her exactly like she fell.
I did not touch her.
You left her just like she fell.
That was it. Okay. I did not touch her after that. Her feet were hanging off. Her upper part of her body was there. Her feet were hanging off the bed. And I picked up, because the shell casing, the first one, there might have been another one there.
I was going to ask you, you picked up one or two?
One.
You only picked up one?
One. Okay. And that's only because it was right here.
But you shot twice. Did you look for the second one? Do you remember?
I wasn't. I walked around this side just because I went to look for it, but then I was like, it doesn't even matter.
Okay.
I picked up one, and that's only because it was like right here at my feet. I did not touch her. I did not touch another thing. The only reason why I picked that up was because it was just, I seen it.
Could you see what part, thinking about the first shot, could you see what part of the shoulder it hit her? What part of the shoulder in which the bullet struck her? Could you tell?
No.
You couldn't?
I just seen a hole right here.
So it was kind of...
I'm guessing it was right there.
Okay, I'm not trying to think about this, okay? Did she have the robe on? Did she have a shirt on? Did she have anything on? And did you see a hole in her arm? Did you see a hole in her clothes? If she had anything on?
She had a robe on.
Okay, so you saw a hole...
I just seen a hole right here.
Okay. But is that a hole in her clothes or a hole in her arm? What did you see? Or could you tell it was both?
I couldn't tell. It's just like, there was a flashlight.
It's dark, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because her light was on, the lamp. But I couldn't, and I honestly didn't even see blood.
Okay. That's an important question right there. remind me, if I forget, remind me lamp, okay? I'm going to come back to that. So you saw a hole in the arm, and then she slumps, like you said, and try to show me the position of her body when you shot the second time.
It's just like that. And she was like against the bed.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the bed, and she was like this, and she had her hand here again, and then she said something again and basically about killing me.
Okay. Do you remember what she said?
I don't remember exact words, no, because it was all so surreal.
Right.
And I can't believe that, I even had to do that.
Right.
Because I already felt, that was the time within the past 4 or 5 months I had felt threatened the most.
Okay, so here's what I'm getting at, okay? What I want to know is, did she set all the way up? I'm trying to figure out, compared, like you stand up, okay? So that we know how tall that bed is. We have all those measurements. And then when you shoot...
And I might not even hit her in the shoulder.
I'm trying to figure out, were you shooting downward? Did she get back up and you're shooting upward at her head? Were you shooting level?
She was, like I said, she was kind of more like this.
Mm-hmm.
And...
Are you still across the room when you make this second shot?
I was back here.
Okay.
I mean, I was...
A little bit closer to her.
A little bit closer to her, yes, but I was...
Still a couple of arm's lengths?
Oh, yeah, at least.
Okay.
I mean, I was not... Yeah, I wasn't...
Back to the lamp.
That's what to come up at me, and that's when I shot again.
Okay. Back to the lamp. The lamp was on, but you said it was dark. So the big lights were off?
Yeah, there wasn't no lights on it there.
Okay. But
like the can lights?
Uh-huh.
No.
Does the can lights have a dimmer switch on them? So were they dimmed or were they totally not on at all?
They were off.
Okay. And the lamp beside her bed was on?
On, to the left.
Were there any other lights on in that room?
The bathroom may have been dimmed.
Mm-hmm. But not bright?
But not bright.
Okay. And then just one last, and so you pick up the shell casing. Tell me the truth about what you do next.
I went out towards the garage, and I think that the small garage door was open. So I turned the lights on, shut the garage door, went out the back door.
Okay. After shooting her, did you ever touch any of the breakers? Garage or audio-visual closet?
Not the audio-video. I might have touched the garage to make sure that I could shut the garage door.
No, I don't mean the garage. I'm talking about the breaker box, the panel, the main switch.
Oh, the only time I touched those was when we was
when you were checking
the lights.
Before?
Yeah.
Okay. Is there a reason that you? And this will be a hard one to answer, but I think I know the answer. Is there a reason that you took the route that you did when you went out the mud room, out of the gate, and around the house like that?
That's just the way I always went.
Do you always go through the construction and jump the fence?
Oh, no. Like if I'm leaving her house.
Yeah, when you left.
Anytime I was walking,
Uh-huh.
like there's like 2 or 3 different times I was walking. Yeah, that's exactly the way I went. I went right over the fence.
So did you go that way? I'm just going to ask you straight up. Did you go that way to avoid the cameras? 'Cause
No.
You know where that back porch camera is.
No, either way, that would not show me because the whole room closes that off.
Okay.
So no matter what, whether I went out that way,
Mm-hmm.
like when I go out that back mudroom door,
Yeah.
I'm on that camera.
You are?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I just went that way because that's the way I always go.
All right.
And I just jumped that fence because it's the
Easier
shortest
than
way to get right
walking
there
down to the
and
corner.
walking down the corner all the way around and all the way back up.
Okay. So 1 shell casing in the woods, 2 cell phones in the first pond, construction site, pistol in the middle,
right underneath the bridge on the west side.
right past the columns on the left in the middle,
Mm-hmm.
So
my 45 should be, if I was to guess, through them woods where I showed you where I walked. When my bag ripped, I'm guessing if it wasn't in her glove box, then it was in my bag.
Okay.
And when my bag ripped, then that 45 is somewhere along that trail.
Why did you get rid of both Glock 40s and not the 45? I know it fell out eventually.
By the time that I realized I didn't have it,
Uh-huh.
I didn't know where it was.
So your plan was to get rid of the 45?
No, I wasn't going to get
also?
rid of the 45.
Okay.
I had no intention of that.
When the shooting happened and you had your Glock 40, where was the other Glock 40 that you ended up taking with you?
In my pocket, right here.
So you had two pistols on you at the same time. One pistol in your hand and one pistol.
Well, it was either there or in the bag.
And where was the bag?
In the mudroom.
In the mudroom.
Or when you walk in that closet right there. That's where I picked it up because I'd got them out of her car, where they were in her car,
okay,
and put them in a bag. And when we started to get into it, I picked it up and grabbed it.
I got you.
And she knew that I had it.
I got you. Give me a minute, dude. I'm just trying to get a minute. Yeah, go ahead.
Josh, where were you standing when she threw whatever she threw at you?
I was...
Like, this is the bed. Were you on this side of the bed or closest to, like, the restroom side of the bed?
It was close to the restroom.
Was your back to the wall? Or what was
Which
your
wall?
back? To the restroom wall?
Yes.
And
Like, she had me to where, like, I was... Like, there's the bed, there's the door coming in, there's the door exiting. I was over here to where she, like, because I was going into the bathroom to grab the last bit of my stuff.
And her bed's over here?
Yes.
Okay. And where is she standing?
Like where you're at. And that's when she'd come out of there. I went to walk by her to grab the last bit of my stuff because I think my shirt and my other things are still in her closet. I went to go into the closet, I was going to get the rest of my stuff. And that's when she came out, and she was like just real like verbally aggressive, but she had her hands here.
So where did she grab the cup from?
Her dresser.
The one closest to the restroom
yes.
side?
And that's when I was, like, I'd come out, and then she started coming screaming and hollering, talking about, you know, what, I'll end you and all your family and your son, this and that. That's when I told her, I was like, I just want the fucking truth. I want you to stop threatening me. I'm here. If you gotta fucking take me, go ahead and do it. Whatever it is you got, do it. That's when she turned back around to the thing. She grabbed the cup, and she had her arm like this, and she turned and she threw the cup at me, and then she turned back around and put her hands back in her thing. Mm-hmm. And I was at a point where I couldn't just leave. Like,
you're on the other side.
I was on this side, like closet side. I couldn't just, I mean, I guess I could have ran.
Yeah.
But at that point, there was already, you know, I'm going to kill you, your family, your son. Like, it was just, there's to a point where all I kept begging for and telling her is, I just want the fucking truth.
I guess I was confused about there being a third gun. Maybe there was some conversation when you guys left, but I guess there was a third gun, 2 40s and a 45?
Yes, sir.
So when you get out of her car after getting back from Silver Fox, you get out of her car with both the 40s?
No, they were right there in her car.
But then you come in the house with them, right?
They were under the seat.
Okay.
And my 45 was in the glove box.
Okay.
Or the console.
But then you put both
Put them in the
40s
bag.
Oh, in the bag?
Because I wasn't going to take her car, because it's not my car.
So at what point?
And there was no point that I thought that I needed them inside.
Mm-hmm.
I just kept it all together.
So when do you put the 40s in your waistband?
When I went to leave.
Okay. When you're in her bedroom? Or before that?
Like when I went to leave for good.
Okay.
Like, they were in the bag. There's so much back and forth, man.
But at some point you had both of them in your waistband, right?
When I went to leave.
Okay.
Because paper bag, jeans, belt, vest, mail, and what I thought was my .45. 3 pistols in a paper bag walking out. I thought for sure would not make it.
Mm-hmm.
So I put them here, grabbed the bag, made sure the garage door was shut, and went out the back door.
Do you still think you took your shoebox with you?
I'm not sure on that, man, honestly.
Okay.
I think I had it with me. I think I had my shoebox in the bag. But by the time that I even made it across Bel Air towards the Arbor Lawn area, I got right over there through the trees, right where I showed you. The bag had already ripped. The box was falling apart. And so that's when I just tied up my jeans and the stuff that I thought that I needed right there, tied them up. The pistols were in my waistband.
Did you ever tell anybody about what happened?
No, I haven't told anybody.
So we're the first ones that you...
Y'all are the only two. I haven't told anybody. Everyone that's asked, you know, David Berry came to my house. He wanted to make sure I was okay because everyone's known about the situation, about me being threatened and everyone being threatened. And everyone's thought that it was Mark and Stephen Malik that were going to end up because the whole thing being... And Nikki's been trying to change her will and all kinds of stuff because they signed a prenup when they got married. So he got the house and a couple $1 million and all kinds of other stuff that he shouldn't have got, that I actually helped her or talked her into, like, giving him for the children, to make sure that the children were taken care of, like that they had a house and they felt safe at the old house that they lived in. That's why she bought that house for him. And to give him what she gave him to at least, because they were going to, like, just cut him free of the job, cut him loose of everything, send him on his way. I said, but, and I sat and had to talk with her, but I was like, but, you know, like, Savannah's obviously mad at you. Ben's confused. He doesn't understand. If you do that, the kids are going to hate you. He's not going to have nowhere to go. They're going to want to stay with him. He's staying with your mom. And, like, the whole thing being, I just try to help everyone out, man. It's like, that was all at the beginning, though. You know, that was all at the beginning. And then, like, in the last few months, the whole thing being that she's rewrote her will. She started rewriting her will. She told me about all this other stuff because if something was to happen to her, she hinted at how Mark and Steven had done some really screwed up things. And basically, you know, she had kind of hinted at me that maybe both of our lives were in danger because if something was to happen to her, then he still gets an extra, like, $20 million or something, and this and that. And so it was like, it got to a point to where within the last few months, like, and the only thing that I ever told anybody, which even from the fact when I first disconnected myself from everybody, I didn't even tell my family because I didn't want to involve anybody. I want to threaten anybody. She told my family. She called my dad and involved my dad and brought my dad to my house, and she called my mom and involved my mom and brought my mom to my house.
So one other thing, do you have any, like, anything that belongs to the Nikki at your house or at your mom's house?
As in what?
Like, I don't know, any valuables, jewelry, money?
I don't have anything that she did not give me.
Okay. What did she give you?
Well, there was a time that she gave me an iPad. There was a time that she gave, and then, like, a couple of the things that she gave me were things that she gave me or left at my house and then turned and reported that I stole from her. And then I proved that I didn't steal them from her.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any jewelry there?
There might be something that she said was like a quartz or something, fake pair of earrings or something, and I don't even know. If they're in one of my bags, yes, but I don't know where they're at.
Do you have any large amounts of currency at your house?
No, sir.
Or at your mom's house?
No, sir. I don't have any money. I'm to a point, that's why I was going to Cabela's, was to get my credit card fixed where I could start paying for some of my stuff and get everything rolling again and try to go back to work.
Okay.
I think I'm good.
And no, nobody knows about anything. My mom's asked, my dad's asked, you know, David Berry asked, my sisters.
Have you told your buddy Vince and...
No, I haven't talked to them since I left their house. And that was 3 days ago. I've not told anybody. You guys right here, y'all are the only people that know anything.
Okay.
Y'all know more about the situation going back 6 months ago than all of my family or anybody knows put together. Like, I've told you two more in the last 2 times we've met than I've told anybody all put together. Everybody all put together. Nobody knows a thing about what happened the other night.
Was that true about you buying the gun from Fuller? What was his name?
Paul Fuller.
Paul Fuller.
Yes, I bought a
that's
couple
true?
guns from him, and I bought a couple guns from a guy that's towards East Texas. I cannot remember his name. I've got the paperwork that I bought it from him.
Where's that paperwork?
It's in a folder that's in my trailer.
In your trailer.
And if you, I mean, his name,
That's fine. We can find it, or you can.
I've got it.
If we don't find it, you can get
Hey,
it
what's
to
the
me
phone
later.
number to the black iPhone 7?
It's the 992 number that I gave.
817-992.
8596.
And what about the white one?
The white one, it's a 254. 254.
That's the area code?
Yes. That's the HTC T-Mobile one.
Why'd you carry 2 phones?
Well, the AT&T one was my newest one that I just got.
The black iPhone 7?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And the only reason why I carried both of them was because my mom and everybody had knew how to get a hold of me on the one, and then the other one was the one that I talked to a couple of people on. But like the black iPhone 7, there was only like a couple people that even knew that number. And the only reason why I got the new phones, the only reason why I went and got the T-Mobile phone was because every phone that I continued to get hacked into, and people like threatening me and push notifications and this and that and just weird stuff happening. And so, like, I called Apple and talked to Apple about it numerous times. I went to AT&T. You know, my SIM card was duplicated. There was a little port that you could plug into your phone like a charger, and it'll actually download all the information to it, and you can go back and put it into a computer system, and all of a sudden it's like it duplicates your phone.
Hey, I got a question. This is just so I don't miss anything, because I've already started today pulling any reports with your name or Nikki's name, so I can do that background and that history stuff. And all I know about is Fort Worth and Benbrook. Are there any other cities that I need to be checking?
Now that has anything to do with me and her? I mean, the only ones that had, there was like...
Are there any other cities that I need to be checking for reports on you that don't have anything to do with her? Are there any other cities that I need to be checking on reports for her that don't have to do with you?
Not that I know of. I know that the last one that had to do with her house, Officer Cook had come out, and that's why I was
At
trying
her
to get...
house? Yeah, I found those.
I was trying to get my checkbook and stuff, and that's like, she had texted me and she said something about...
You remember
she was-
talking to a detective on that? Did he call you?
Uh-uh.
Okay.
That's when she at that time, was texting me right before all that. She's so screwed up on meth and this and that, and like, I had him report that. I was like, look, man, like, this is what I deal with. Like, this is what I'm dealing with right now. It's just like an off and on, like, yes this, no that, yes this, no that.
You need to check for calls, not just reports. Make sure that, like, some lazy officer doesn't go out there and not do a report.
Because there was at least 9 times that police came to my house.
Oh, that's Benbrook. I'm going to
Yeah.
get those. I know about those.
Yeah.
I want to make sure somebody...
Let's see. What was I going to tell you?
Hey, let me call this guy. Think about it for a minute. He's trying to help me.
You can move over there.
Wherever you want me to go.
Probably more comfortable against that thing.
Jonathan. His name was Jonathan.
Jonathan what?
I don't know. I had him in my phone as Jonathan Glocks.
Who?
The guy that I bought the guns from.
Oh, the East Texas guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've only
that.
all my guns I bought from him or Paul Fuller
Okay.
or a store.
Let me lay out this plan for you, okay? There's stuff at your house in Benbrook that I want.
Okay.
There's stuff at your mom's house that I want.
Okay.
Okay?
What do you want?
Your mom, well, we'll talk about that when we get there. I
Okay.
want, we'll go
Okay,
through,
okay.
we'll just vest and stuff
Hey,
like
I'm
that,
at your mercy,
guns.
man.
You know that you are cooperating on your own free will, voluntarily the whole time, okay? You've always been free to go. So at any time that you're like, hey, I'm done, I don't want to cooperate anymore, just tell me that. I just want to keep on telling you that you don't have to do this. You know that. So your mom is at her house in Grand Prairie, okay? I asked her to meet us in Benbrook with the keys to...
You just talked to her?
Yeah, I told them to call her. There's an
Okay.
officer out there because I told you we were watching the
Okay.
house. Bring the keys to Benbrook. When we get to Benbrook, then you go with... I'll give you a ride. You can ride with whoever. Your mom gets there. We get a few things. You direct us to where the things are so we don't tear up
Okay.
anything.
Yeah.
Then we go to Benbrook. We get the things from there that we need, and you stay with your mom. We're done for the night. Cool?
Okay.
All right. Let me
So
grab my stuff.
we're going to Benbrook.
Yes.
to my house.
And
My
your
mom's gonna
mom
meet
is
us there.
meeting us there with the keys to your truck and trailer.
Okay.
All right? Just sit out there in the hall so I can gather up my phones and make sure my boss knows where I am.